July 22nd, 2025, 6 p.m. Meriwether County Board of Commissioners meeting. Please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. Please stand for the invocation given by Reverend Walker from Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, followed by the pledge.
Thank you. First, let us say good afternoon to everyone. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we come this evening in prayer as we gather here at these facilities, meet with these commissioners in this community. And Lord, we thank for those who are appointed to carry on the business and affairs of the county. And Lord, we lift them up to you that they will always acknowledge you first and that you will direct their steps. And we pray that what will be done here tonight will be beneficial to this city, this community. And we pray, Lord, that you will bless each and every one that are here and that each one that might have something to bring to the table, that it will be for the advancement of this county and this city. We ask these blessings in the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is to adopt the agenda. Are there any amendments need to be made to the agenda?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Under new business, we need to add number 10, consideration to enter into an agreement with AMR for emergency vehicle use agreement. That's consideration to enter into agreement with AMR emergency vehicle use agreement.
Is this the supplement sitting on top of the agenda?
Correct.
Any other modifications to the agenda?
No, sir.
I have a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Amen first.
Next item is presentations. First presentation is a proclamation in honor and memory of Ms. Julia Ellison. So I'll read that. Proclamation in honor and memory of Ms. Julia Ellison, whereas the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners pauses to honor the life and legacy of Ms. Julia Ellison, a beloved mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, community servant, and faithful member of Trinity CME Church, who passed away at the remarkable age of 106. Whereas Julia Ellison was born on May 24, 1919, to the late Ollie Ellison Turner and the late Bud Fairchild McGee, and spent her life as a pillar of strength and grace in the Durham community. And whereas Ms. Ellison was the proud mother of 6 children and was deeply devoted to her many grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren, sharing her wisdom, faith, and love across 5 generations. And whereas Ms. Ellison was known for her warm hospitality, big Sunday dinners, storytelling, gardening, and spiritual guidance, her home in Durham was always a welcome place for family and friends to gather, celebrate, and reflect. And whereas as a lifelong member of Trinity CME Church, Julia Ellison joined at the age of 12 and faithfully served on the usher board, choir, and stewardess board. She remained the oldest active member of her church and provided steady spiritual leadership and motherly wisdom to all who knew her. And whereas Julia Ellison lived through more than a century of history with dignity and purpose, serving as a witness to profound change and progress while remaining rooted in faith, family, and community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners hereby honors the life of Ms. Julia Ellison, expresses deepest condolences to her family and loved ones, and recognizes her lifelong contributions to the county, her church, and generations of people whose lives she's touched. This is presented before the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners this 22nd day of July, 2025, as the seal of the county and the signature of every current board member, along with the county clerk.
I don't think they were able to have anyone here tonight, but this will be delivered to the family tomorrow.
Item number 2 is another proclamation honoring the Meriwether County 8U Girls All-Star Softball Team. In recognition of the Meriwether County 8U Girls Coach Pitch All-Star Team 2025 GRPA District 4 Class C State Champions. Whereas the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners proudly recognizes the outstanding accomplishments of the Meriwether County 8U Girls Coach Pitch All-Star Team for their exceptional performance and sportsmanship during the 2025 Georgia Recreation and Park Association District 4 and State Tournaments. And whereas the team displayed remarkable talent, teamwork, and determination, earning the title of District 4 Class C Champions on June 12, 2025, with victories over Heard County and advancing to the GRPA State Championship at Putnam County on June 26, 2025. And whereas the team secured victories over Morgan County, Heard County, Putnam County, White County, in an impressive showing of athletic excellence and competitive spirit. And whereas this achievement reflects the dedication and commitment of the players in the Meriwether County Parks and Recreation Department, and stands as a proud moment for the entire community. And whereas the following players contributed to this historic championship run: Hadley Anderson, Zanaya Carter, Reese Cooksey, Paisley Jeter, Emerson Massey, Jayla Owens, Anna Kate Pleasant, A. Strickland, Lily Kate Strickland, Ayla Satterwhite, Anila Terry, Avea Thompson, and Rachel Walter. And whereas the team's success was guided and supported by a committed group of coaches, including head coach Emily Cooksey, assistant coach Brian Cooksey. And whereas these young athletes demonstrated the values of discipline, sportsmanship, and teamwork while competing with the heart and determination throughout the season. And whereas the Board of Commissioners recognizes the role of supportive families, recreation staff, and the broader community in making this achievement possible and fostering the growth of youth athletics in Meriwether County. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners does hereby congratulate and commend the 2025 Meriwether County 8U Girls Coach Pitch All-Star Team on their outstanding accomplishments and extends its heartfelt appreciation for the representation of Meriwether County with pride, excellence, and sportsmanship. Adopted on this 22nd day of July 2025. Again, this has the seal and everyone's signature. Come down this way, we'll present this and do a picture with everyone, please. This all is here?
Yeah,
Coach,
but yes,
Coach, come on in.
we're in Lindsay and.
Be right in the center.
Y'all turn them up this way.
You coach?
There you go.
That's all right here, so you can be seen, they don't think you're on the girl playing there.
You still have a bullet on.
I'm going to.
Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Get one this way. All right.
Commissioners, if I could, I'd like to show y'all, we also, all right, got them state championship rings. We'd like to have the ones that are here and the coaches, and we'll get the rest of them. There you go, girls.
Y'all are so proud of y'all.
Y'all wanna trade?
And I got our trophy that I'm gonna give. Mr. Randy here, Mr. Allen, to hang in the gym somewhere so y'all can all see it. Y'all go in the gym. Thank y'all. Here, try to.
Like a Super Bowl ring.
Yes, too many.
Thank y'all.
That's a lot of reading.
Yeah, you get a break.
Make them all over.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Let them clear out for a second. Thank you, sir. All right, next, item 3 under presentations is Malden and Jenkins LLC fiscal year 2024 audit report.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. So my name is Will Durzis. I'm a director with Malden and Jenkins, and I'm here to present the results of the county's September 30, 2024 year-end financial audit. Fortunately, I don't have a trophy or anything that accompanies the audit results, but
You will not get a picture with us
no,
tonight.
that's all right. I don't take it personally. So,
As long as the audit was good, that's our trophy. So,
Yeah.
audit's good, done, complete, and happy to do a brief presentation of the results this year. So I'll be working off of our auditor discussion and analysis, and on page 2, to get things going, this is just, you can see a profile of the Malden and Jenkins firm-wide governmental practice. Engagement team leaders for this year's audit included myself and Hope Pendergrass, who was our quality assurance reviewer. On page 3, you can find some additional information, some other services offered by the firm. All right, on page 4, these are some items I have to communicate to you all as those charged with governance. Our responsibility as the external auditor is to express an opinion on the financial statements in accordance with standards accepted within the United States, as well as government auditing standards, which are specific to local governments. We also relied on a component auditor for the Meriwether County Board of Health. I'm pleased to share we issued an unmodified report or a clean opinion for this year. And that means that, in our opinion, the respective financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. On page 5, I'll touch on some of the financial highlights at the government-wide or kind of the consolidated high-level view. The county is reporting $43.5 million worth of assets, offset by liabilities of only about $6 million or so. The end result is net position, or you can think of as equity, of approximately $37.4 million. And it's worth noting about half of that, a substantial portion, is comprised of the county's net investment in its capital assets, roads, infrastructures, assets not available to be spent. That's about $17 million. Then there is about $5 million of restricted net position, restricted by third parties, external agencies, creditors, grant agencies. And the end result is that there is, at September 30, 24, unrestricted or net position available to be spent of about $15 million. On page 6, you can see a pie chart of the general fund's revenue and its revenue sources. To no surprise, taxes comprise about 70% of revenues, about $14.5 million. Total revenues in the general fund increased about 15%, about $2.5 million from last year, up to $21.2 million in total. Charges for services and intergovernmental revenues are the second and third leading category, making up 12 and 10%. So majority of that is in taxes. On page 7, a pie chart of the general fund expenditures for the year. Public safety is the lead with about $6 million. Concurrent with the increase in revenues, there was an increase in expenditures of about $2 million. General government and public works are the second and third leading category. County also maintains 8 special revenue funds, 2 capital projects fund, and a governmental type blended component unit, that's the Industrial Development Authority, a proprietary type blended component unit, which is the Airport Authority, as well as the custodial funds, which are elected officials and are reported as fiduciary funds of the county. On page 8, page 8 and 9 disclose or describe some of the footnotes that accompany the financial statements. These just provide some narrative and background that kind of provide a narrative behind the numbers. And on page 10, this references the one compliance report applicable to the county for this most recent fiscal year, the Yellow Book report, which is the report issued under government auditing standards. There was no single audit report or no report required under uniform guidance this year, as the county's federal expenditures did not exceed $750,000. Starting at the end of this current fiscal year, that threshold increases to $1 million. So $1 million or more of federal expenditures going forward will require a single audit. On page 11, just a few more required communications. Estimates, accounting estimates, management judgments, those are embedded in the financial statements, and that information, those decisions ultimately lie with management. We perform a qualitative review of that and didn't have any disagreements. We encounter no significant difficulties of any kind in dealing with management, no other disagreements. On page 12, there were some audit adjustments made this past year. A copy of those is attached to at the back of this document. There were no past adjustments, meaning all proposed entries and adjustments were posted and recorded by management. And then lastly, kind of a cornerstone of an effective audit, we at Mullivan Jenkins, we're independent of the county and all its related organizations in accordance with our professional standards. On page 13, I'll briefly go over, there were 3 findings recorded this year, one of which has been a repeat dealing with segregation of duties within the Water and Sewerage Authority, Industrial Development Authority, some other areas noted within magistrate and probate court, and some of the outside departments. It's worth keeping in mind that's, those are all recorded under the county's umbrella, if you will. So all recorded in the county's financial statements, but it doesn't pertain specifically to the finance department in this building. We had one other finding you can see on page 14, the adjustment made for land held for development within the Industrial Development Authority, which major component, most of its operations, right, is buying and selling of land for use. And so we had to make a material adjustment to report the value of that land at year end. And then we had one last finding for some classification changes within the general fund's opening fund balance, and that required a material adjustment this year. But it's not as though finance missed on recording some type of revenue or failed to record a transaction. This is mainly a classification issue. I'll also note, in the past several years since I've started on this audit, we had a financial closeout finding that would detail various transactions we had to, for adjustments we had to make during each year's audit. That was resolved this year, so pleased to share that news. And then on page 15, lastly, there are 4 recommendations. These are management points, recommendations for improvements, things that don't rise to the level of a finding or a material weakness or significant deficiency, but things we did note, one being excess cash or cash not deposited timely within the probate court. We recommend to deposit once a week, daily if you can, to mitigate any possibility of a misappropriation of assets. There was no budget adopted within the Sheriff Drug Forfeiture Fund, which I believe is maintained by the Sheriff Department. State law requires all special revenue funds and the general fund record a budget or adopt a budget at the beginning of each year. The activity within this one is very small though, so it's not, there's no material non-compliance. We noted one expenditure during our review of the IDA was missing an original invoice. We recommend keep all original invoices, keep documentation so we can do our job. And then during review of accrued vacation, which that accrued vacation and compensated absences, it's subject to a change per the GASB board this year, but this most recent year, we noted 8 employees that had exceeded the total cap per county policy. So during financial closeout, we recommend to review those balances and make sure things are within policy. But those 4 items, like I said, are recommendations. They're not material adjustments. All right, lastly, the bottom of page 15, as I mentioned, GASB, the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, they set the requirements for the audit of the county, and they keep us quite busy, always adopting new standards. And one will come into effect this year for compensated absences. And then you can just read through some of these other ones that are kind of on the horizon. Even if you're not directly involved in the process, we recommend to at least read through these and see if you think they might have some applicability in the future, or maybe they don't. And then at the very back, you can read up on some other services we've kind of expanded and have engaged a lot of clients in recently for operational audits, consultations, as well as IT and cybersecurity test work. Otherwise, that concludes my presentation for this evening, so I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
How many years can you have a noted observance before it becomes a non-compliance?
There's a qualitative assessment that could be made. If it's under a quantitative threshold, it could go, I don't know, indefinitely, but factoring in some qualitative aspect, I can't give an exact number of years, but that would be something, yeah, we'd have to consider. Yeah.
Is that something you can work with them and find out? Because there's multiple years of the segregation of duties.
That's, Mr. Chairman, and my experience with smaller governments, you're always going to have separation of duties. Unless we hire more staff, and Will can correct me wrong, I brought it up numerous times during my tenure in government dealing with accounting and audits. Unless we hire 3 or 4 additional staff in finance, you're always going to have a separation of duties.
And/or it's higher staff and/or
Processes.
controls implemented.
Yes.
So we can create our own process and have the controls in place without the staff.
Yeah, we instituted several processes in place this year, like Will stated, that we did away with all the previous outline conditions through the county. All that was resolved when we brought Tammy on as a senior accountant and moved that position, so we put those processes in place. We do have checks and balances inside finance now to where it has built a stronger foundation, which this is the IDA and Water and Sewer Authority, which only has 2 employees in the IDA and 1 in Water and Sewer. That's a paid employee.
So we're saying possibly next year, then we've taken the measures that would take the county off of this list, but water, sewage.
Correct, the county is completely off of this list.
So
This is the only thing that was wrong with this one was I made a fund entry balance and I was trying to reclass the LRA money, and Will walked me through the correct way I should have recorded, and that was the error on that one, was the fund balance of $1 million.
So I guess what I really want to know then is, can we find out what is the quantitative value that determines how many years this will take it into a non-conformance versus just a noted observation? Because if we haven't done the procedures for water and sewage and IDA, and it continues, then what is that quantitative number, or where are we in respect to that, so that this doesn't become?
We can build internal processes. We got the finance director sign off on invoices for both IDA and water and sewer. Additional processes like that would get them out of the segregation of duties.
I mean, I don't know right now, there's nothing that tells me, but I don't want to
Again, I
accept
think
this and
we'll
move
have to
on.
hire more employees though.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
focus was
I'll-
getting the county out of all its bad things in the past, and when I got the county out, now I was working on getting IDA and water and sewer out of it. So we have a clean audit opinion with no findings, no material weaknesses. First step was getting the county because it was the biggest, now it's working on the other two. And then that material weakness should go away once those two are resolved.
Yeah, and I'll clarify, specific to segregation of duties, that's not so much a quantitative assessment. That's really, are the controls in place or are they not? It's kind of a yes, no type answer. It doesn't really speak to the quality of the work we receive from them or, my personal, how much trust I put into to the employees in those departments. It's more just, you either have the controls or you don't.
Right.
They're lacking that, and it's pretty much a function of small staffing. There probably are mitigating controls that could be implemented. That might be something worth looking into this year. But yeah, absent like a wholesale change, hiring additional employees and formally incorporating new checks and balances. If there's any breach of someone has authorization, custody of assets, authorization, or has the recording function, that kind of that's kind of the three things we're looking at and want to make sure there's checks and balances across those three aspects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks, John.
Next item is the finance report.
Commissioners, in front of you are the bank balances that were pulled about 5 o'clock today. All funds are holding steady. We did move some funds out into the general fund, just so I didn't have to go into the investment pool trying to get that interest because it's earning about $40,000 a month right now in the general fund. I want to try to get that for the end of the month. We are waiting on the second quarter host fees to be coming in. They should come in within the next week. I've asked for an update. I'm waiting on a reply. Loss SPLOS and T-SPLOS allocations are coming at the end of the month. Your next page is your allocations and commitments for SPLOS and T-SPLOS. SPLOS current balance to spend is a little over $1 million with 2 commitments, one for culverts for public works, one for an ambulance remount, totaling $90,000 together. T-SPLOS, our current balance to spend as of date is $383,865 with the 30% match for LMIG and Alberton Additional Road widening. That dollar sign should be an AN sign. That's a typo on my part. And then our LRA balance, we have allocated all the funds for 24, and then 25, we have $1,018,943.37 that we'll have to set a meeting to discuss what to do with those 2025 LRA funds.
Is there a time limit on having projects assigned for that?
You can't carry it longer than, I think it's 3 years.
It's 3 years for LMIG, so I think it follows the same guidelines.
Okay.
Since it's supplement to LMIG, I would think the same guidelines apply.
Any questions from the board about the finance report? Do we have any department heads here to speak tonight?
Good evening, Commissioners. I just wanted to share my July report from the Building and Zoning Community Development Department. Over the course of the month, we have issued 29 building permits, including 7 new homes. The remaining permits cover a range of improvements such as electrical, pools, barns, and garages. In addition to permitting, our staff has been actively assisting residents and contractors through office visits and phone consultations. We've also issued, reviewed, or inspected 9 new business licenses, 7 new driveways, 2 demos, 10 soil and erosion inspections, 16 new addresses, and 6 plat reviews. On the code enforcement front, we've managed 22 cases within the jurisdiction here. Behind the scenes, our team is working with the intern that we've got from ACCG for the summer. We're updating the official zoning map to better reflect the current land use patterns based on thorough and research and historical records. We hope and anticipate bringing this revised map before you in the coming month for review and for approval. As always, we appreciate your support and we strive to enhance the service delivery and ensure the growth of our community. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other department heads?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to thank the finance staff for all their hard work during the audit to get us out of all those uncompliance issues that we had for so long, along with all the elected officials with their assistance helping us with this audit. The deadline is March 31st. We're slightly past that, but our goal for this year is to get it in on March 31st.
No citizen comment?
No, sir.
Okay, next item is the minutes from July 7th, 2025, regular meeting at 6 p.m. Are there any changes or amendments to the meeting minutes as presented?
If not, I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes.
Have a motion and need a second? Second. All in favor?
I abstain.
Okay. Next item is a public hearing. Case number P25-008, request to keep Meadows Boone Road open or decide to close it from the property line of parcel 090-001. Herbert Crawford is the owner and a total of approximately 635 feet. So do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Who made the motion?
Gene.
6:31, we have public hearing.
Cassandra, you want?
All right, I brought this case to you guys as a public hearing, excuse me, because Mr. Crawford has purchased this property and they have come and brought a presentation to you guys a couple of months ago requesting that this road remain open, and they want to bring it to the standards of the road as the county regulations are, no expense to the county. I think Mr. Gordon has done some research on this property and found that the road was never closed and that, what all did he write here? Says that.
I can
road-
read Cassandra if you like.
Huh?
I can pick it up if you like.
You go from there.
It was formerly never closed by the board, and so it's still considered a public county road. This discussion comes in response to two competing options. One is to formally close the road through legal abandonment process. The other is to allow the property owner, Mr. Crawford, to make improvements to bring the road up to full county specifications at his own expense, after which the county would resume maintenance responsibilities. This road does not serve through traffic, it deads in at a creek, and does not provide access to any other property owners. Emergency services would not be affected by either option. There are no known issues with adjoining landowners. Mr. Crawford has expressed a willingness to complete the necessary improvements to meet county standards. Once that work is finished and passes inspection by Public Works, the county would once again maintain the road as part of its system. The recommendation of staff is to support Mr. Crawford's proposal to bring the road to county standards with the understanding that the county will restart maintenance only after the work is completed and approved by Public Works. No action to close the road should be taken unless the improvements are not completed or do not meet the required specifications. And behind that, you have questions for consideration of determining road abandonment and closure per our ordinance of section 22-162. And then the ordinance section 22-160. And
Is the property owner here tonight?
He was not able to make it tonight.
The spokesperson didn't come in?
I'm the one that brought it as a public hearing.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak in favor of this item? If you will.
To speak, but I am in favor of it.
Okay, you don't want to speak?
I'm in favor of it.
Just need to know her name.
We just need to, if you will, fill out this form, it's your name and address, and then you're on the yes side. Did I miss another hand that's in favor that would like to speak or sign? Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak against this item?
Sure, it might be a good idea to define what in favor of and against means, because I think it's been brought to you as a either or option.
Yes.
So in favor of, does that mean keeping the road open?
Okay, so currently the road is closed due to the property owner installing a gate on the road.
It's not
accessible
formally
by
closed.
public at all. It's not formally closed by the county.
Right.
County could not maintain it due to the gate that the property owner put on the property to keep everyone, including the county, out. So in favor of allowing the property owner to bring the road up to standard and allow the county to put it back in the registry and maintain, or opposed to that option?
New property owner. The original property owner is putting the gate up.
Right. So,
But I do have to say for the record, a gate doesn't stop the county. We can
It
remove,
shouldn't.
no, we can remove that gate at
It's
any
been
point.
removed now, yeah.
Right.
And I've got a question for council to help me understand this. We never officially closed the road, is what you said.
Correct.
Right. And with that being said, is there another way we need to be wording this? Because if we never officially closed it and it's a county road, how are we allowing a private entity to do the work on a county road?
Well, I think what,
If somebody was out here on a dirt road down here, say Mr. Johnson and his buddy so-and-so down here is tired of waiting and so forth, so they want to go out there and bring the road up to standards, we wouldn't allow them to work on a county road because of liabilities, right?
Correct.
So I want to do this and I want them to bring it to par because they offered it. But how do we do that? Do we draw something, do we close it when they get through, we open it back?
I think that's what they're trying to avoid, is having that be a step by step, and so they're bringing it to you in this fashion. You could do that if you felt that was a concern.
No, I want to make sure we're just fully legal, so we don't have, you know, how you get these folks that like open
Yeah,
record and all that,
otherwise-
and they start, I'm just asking, because from what I've learned, you're not supposed to work on county property, and we're saying it's still a county road because it wasn't officially closed.
Otherwise, it sounds like they are dedicating services to the county to bring that 635 feet up, which should not be an issue.
Right. But should something be drawn up to where we're not liable while they're doing that work?
We could do that, yes.
That's, I guess, what I'm trying to get at. Just in case someone turn a tractor over or whatever, and then next thing you know, they're wanting to sue the county because it's a county road.
Understood.
We could do it, but it's not necessary. If you think about it, when you cut your grass every day and you go over the county right away and keep that maintained up to the road, we're doing the same thing. We're volunteering our services to maintain. It may be part of the yard for our house, but we're doing work on the county right away.
That's the only reason I asked council. I didn't go to law school. To me, mowing grass and cutting culverts and ditches and extensive work is a lot
If
different
y'all
than.
want us to draw up an agreement, assuming that you're going to allow the owner of the adjacent property to bring this up to standard, then we can draw up that agreement.
So like, put into motion some type of waiver form is all, something plain and simple
Waiver,
that protects the county while they're doing the work.
right, probably some insurance requirements, things of that nature, but yes.
Is it necessary, Mike?
Is it necessary? I don't think it's necessary, but is it practical? That's, I think, a question for y'all to answer. Happy to do it.
What's the rest of the board's thought about protecting the county?
I agree. I think that there needs to be some protection somehow. Because we don't want to set a precedent, to your point, of now anybody just going out and starting to work on roads because we allowed it to happen on this road, without it stopping anywhere else, so.
And the difference is you would be authorizing this action versus not authorized in other aspects, but.
My opinion on the road itself is right now, it doesn't serve any purpose to anyone as outlined in the document. But my understanding is that I think they're going to develop this property that would then allow us to generate tax base from the property in that road once it's back into the system, which would be a good thing.
At least 8 lots, 15 acre plus lots.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it were not for that, I don't know that I would even be in favor of leaving the road open. But if that's the plan in the future, then that's significant tax revenue that would offset the cost of maintaining the road.
You're also gonna add that back.
To the limit, which it should have never been subtracted in the first place because it was never legally closed. But that's a substantial amount of road, 600 and something feet, to add back to it, which guarantees our additional federal funds coming in.
I mean, I'm all for leaving it open, and I'm glad that they're willing to do that. I just wanted that clarification, whether we need it or don't need it, so.
Well, I was looking at it since we abandoned it, as it was not on paper closed, but the abandonment made it closed. Because we haven't maintained it in so long, that's why I wasn't
In order to
in that way.
in order to legally abandon it, you have to have a noticed public hearing on it according to Georgia law. So I don't think y'all had legally abandoned it. Y'all had not maintained it, but I don't think y'all had legally abandoned it.
That's correct from our research.
If the road had been abandoned and closed, he wouldn't even have to ask us. He could just bring it up to par and then come in here and go, hey, would y'all like to take this road over like any other developer does? So the road never was closed.
Is there any other discussion needed in the public hearing about this item or any of the board members discuss during the open public hearing? So I have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 641. Okay, now that we've heard it and had some opinions around, is there a motion from the board on this item?
Well, this isn't my district, and I'll make a motion that we leave it open and allow them to perform the duties of bringing it up to county standards before we start maintaining it. If the board doesn't feel like it needs some kind of additional waiver, then I'm fine with that.
You can put it in your motion and either leave it pass or not.
I make a motion that we leave the road open, allow them to perform the duties of that road, to bring it to standards to be approved by our public work director with some kind of,
Subject to a waiver and indemnity agreement signed by the property owner.
thank you for saying that.
I second
What
that.
he said, you second, so a motion and a second, all in favor? All right, motion passed.
Thank you.
Do you need a minute to catch up on notes before I go?
No, I'm good.
Just note, if y'all change, if they don't fulfill their duties and y'all do want to close this in the future, since it's never officially been closed, y'all will need to hold the appropriate hearing again.
Well, the way I have to look at it too, if it's not really necessary, they wouldn't have a problem adding that to it. If they have a problem adding that to it, then that tells you there's something, somebody worried about something. I just want to protect citizens, that's it.
And you're not wrong, if someone's doing a subdivision, they're doing the work themselves on their own property up until the point in time they dedicate it to the county. So, it's not something you normally would consider in other development situations.
Right. Next item is appointments. Appointment to the Recreation Advisory Board, District 4. This is a one-year term that will begin on July the 1st, 2025, and expire on June 30th, 2026. This was tabled during the July 7th, 2025 regular meeting.
And that's my district, and I do have an appointment. That is Michael Sharp from Manchester. I think he'll be an asset to the board, so I do put that in the form of a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you. Sorry it took a while.
All right, next item is unfinished business. We have none, so that is fantastic. It's the first time in a while we've not had unfinished business. Just wanted to make that comment. Next item is new business. So item 1, rescind the referendum resolution for the continuation of special local option sales tax, SPLOST, that was approved during the July 7th, 2025 meeting due to a typographical error.
Commissioners, on July the 7th, 2025, the board approved a resolution authorizing a referendum for the continuation of the special local option sales tax. The resolution contains a typographical error. It incorrectly lists the city of Greenville's allocation as 4.07% instead of the correct amount of 3.85%. The correct allocation of 3.85% for the city of Greenville is based on the 2020 U.S. Census population data and is properly reflected in the intergovernmental agreement, which has been executed and adopted by the county and all participating municipalities. Recommended action would be a motion to rescind the SPLOST referendum resolution approved on July 7th, due to the typographical error in the City of Greenville's allocation percentage, and to proceed to the next agenda item to adopt the corrected resolution showing the accurate 3.85% allocation based on 2020 census data consistent with the adopted intergovernmental agreement.
All right, any questions or a motion from the board?
So moved.
Motion and second, all in favor? Motion passes. Item 2, approve the referendum resolution for the continuation of the special local option sales tax clause and the execution of agreements to place SPOS on the November 2025 ballot. So moved.
Second.
Have we read it to make sure there's no typographical error?
We have.
We got a motion and a second, all in favor? All right, that is great. 3, approval of agreement with Helios for personnel manual review.
1 second, Mr. Chairman, let me get to that section.
It's on down because of the referendum, I'm sorry.
46.
Commissioners, attaches a request from Human Resource Director Valerie Chambers regarding her recommendation for reviewing the new policy manual to ensure legal compliance. This draft has been distributed to each commissioner and director for their review. As with any policy document, we anticipate revisions as operational procedures evolve and require clarification. In addition, this version includes the newly approved holiday and vacation sellback provisions. Our goal is to have this personnel manual adopted before the start of the new fiscal year. Director Chambers recommends utilizing Helios for the review. This agreement will require a signature by either the chairman or vice chair. The funding source will be the general fund expense through the general government. Department 10, legal has reviewed this contract, and Helios has made every change except for the limited liability waiver. And legal did not see an issue with that being a problem due to this being a consulting firm.
Do we normally use that? We've never had.
She went through 2 different law firms, and this 2 law firms, and they came with a higher quote, and this is a consultant that she has reached out to her colleagues through her director and human resources, and they recommend Helios HR as consultant. They review numerous policy manuals. The other 2 are $390 an hour for Jared and Davis and $270 an hour for Ellerby, Thompson, Sapp, and Wilson. And then Helios is $200 per hour.
Don't get mad at me, Michael, but why wouldn't we use the law firm we already have an agreement with to do this?
That was my next question. That's what we've always done. That's what I was getting at. We've never done it before.
My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, there's been some changes due to some changing law, and Valerie wanted a specialization.
Correct. Because it deals more with employment law. And if it's something Glover and Davis can do, we can certainly utilize Glover and Davis.
Is this something that you feel like you can do?
I mean, understand that us doing something that is more specialized will mean that we take longer than someone who has the experience, to do it. It doesn't mean that we can't do it, but it may take, 2 hours to do every hour it would take someone else to do it. That's generally in that area. Get a litigator, try to figure out how to, advise local governments that are going to have to look everything up,
Are we asking them to review the entire manual or just the new additions to that? Because it sounded like
The entire new manual has been rewritten from the prior one that's been readopted several times before, but this is a completely rewritten policy manual.
I'd like to make a motion to table this until our next meeting, whenever that may be.
August 4th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion. So I have a motion and a second, all in favor? All right, motion tabled. Next item is consideration of approval to replace the sanitary sewer line located within the chase beneath the concrete slab at the jail facility.
I'm trying to.
It's on down, she had a lot of pages.
Page 84.
84.
Goodness gracious.
You want me to read it?
I'm right there at it right now. Commissioners, the plumbing work in the jail kitchen has been completed. During a follow-up inspection using a scope through the sanitary line, a broken fitting was discovered within a slab on the sanitary sewer system. The proposed scope of work to address the issue is detailed in the attached quote. The total cost is $10,887 and will be performed by Max Air Plumbing, the same contractor that completed the kitchen plumbing installation. Staff recommends approval of this repair as a professional service utilizing SPOS funds as a funding source and authorizing the chair or vice chair to execute the agreement.
So do we, again, with this jail and courthouse stuff, do we need legal to review this to make sure everything's on the up and up, that once signed by both parties in this agreement, then
The whole thing is a scope of work, almost like the jail. When this came in with the jail, they had everything running to the sewer line, but they broke that off and ran it to the grease trap like it's supposed to be ran. But when they scoped the sewer sanitation line, they found this broken fitting.
I understand that. Are we gonna enter into a contract with this?
It's
vendor
agreement
to be able to do this
authorization, but it could be pending legal review to make sure everything's
My
there.
opinion is I'd like to have a legal review entered into a contract for the scope of work to make sure we're covered and it's repaired. If it's not done right, it gets done right and no extra cost to the county. We've run into this several times at the jail
Yes.
and other things, and I'd like every single one, in my opinion, to be done that way to protect the counties.
And this is the same agreement authorization that Max Air did for the kitchen jail plumbing of the gray water that we signed.
It's likely gonna contain, in fact, just glancing through it, I see limitation of liability clauses, et cetera. And the same provisions we see in all kinds of contracts. They may, it may just be something that the board has to accept if they want the services of this vendor. Maybe something that they're willing to negotiate on. Without, making the changes or the suggested changes, we won't know, but, the board wants us to review the contract before John commits. Problem.
Well, I'll put in a motion, and that will be my recommendation to allow the work to be performed upon legal review of the contract before commitment.
Second.
And the funds to be from SPOS and allow chair or vice chair to sign it. Yeah, say that too. So, you second. All in favor?
And I'll go back through this and see if I sent this. I may not have sent it to y'all.
I don't recall seeing this one. Doesn't mean Nathan didn't get it though.
I'll double check my email. I'll
Got one
resend
from
it.
jail.
All right, consideration of a budget amendment to reallocate funds from the jail department budget to the office of the sheriff.
Commissioners, during the budget preparation process, staff identified the salary and benefit allocations were entered under Department 34 of the jail. Since the jail operates as a component of the office of the sheriff, staff recommends the following budget amendment to transfer these salary and benefits amounts to Department 33 of the sheriff. This amendment will result in a net zero change to the overall budget. It is simply reclassifying salary and benefit expenditures from the jail to the sheriff's office. The county will continue to maintain a balanced budget following this adjustment.
What's the full purpose of it?
We didn't classify employees, the jail employees under Department 34, they were still classified under 33. So when we did payroll, all the way up to now, nothing has hit Department 34 for FICA, salaries, retirement, or insurance. It's all hit Department 33. So it's to move all those benefits to Department 33. So it doesn't look like the sheriff's budget is way under, because it includes the jail personnel.
Is the sheriff on board with moving it?
Yes, sir.
Will this be corrected for this year's budget?
Correct. There'll be an amendment for this year.
I mean, presentation of the 2026 budget. We'll have this correct then.
Correct. This is for the FY25 budget amendment. Instead of doing that at year end, we called it during the budget process. When we sat down with the sheriff, he noticed the jail had no benefit salaries, so he wanted it all moved to the sheriff's department.
We'll correct 25 budget with this amendment, and then.
Next year, we'll put it
26.
33. He wants everything kept in Department 33 for a sheriff, because the jail is a component of the sheriff. For salary and benefits. Now, the regular expenditures, we will still put them under the jail fund.
I'll make a motion to allow.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, next is consideration of setting a date and time to hold a work session for fiscal year 2026 budget discussion.
Commissioners, Finance has initiated the preparation of the fiscal year 2026 budget, which will cover the period from October 1st, 2025 to September 30th, 2026. As part of this process, staff proposes holding a budget work session on August 4th at 4:30 PM before the regular scheduled 6 PM meeting, or whatever time the board chooses. The purpose of this session is to provide department heads with an opportunity to present their budget requests to the commissioners and receive feedback before finalizing the proposed budget. This input will help guide the preparation of a draft budget ahead of formal discussions with the commissioners. And this is mainly to bring forward like capital or personnel requests to the board to see if I need to put it in the budget or not put it in the budget.
I'm not available August 4th.
I probably would have to be late that day.
And we can do it the second meeting in August as well.
I would be late.
We just have to adopt it by the second meeting in September. So the second meeting in August, if that works for the commissioners, or any other date in August,
We have to adopt what, by the second week of the budget?
the budget.
We want enough time to be able to do this and then have the proper meetings.
Great, we have to sit down with each
Have one
commissioners.
public hearing too. for
Yes,
the-
we have to have a public hearing the day of the last meeting of September, prior to the
Do
meeting.
we need to schedule it for a day that's not on a regular meeting?
Yeah, we can do a special day. I'm good with
Fine with
that.
me. I'd rather do that than come in
Me
3
too.
hours and stay for another meeting.
Yeah. I don't want to crunch the timeline and we miss something in the process.
I'm available any other day but the 4th.
Monday the 11th, would that work?
That sounds
That's
good.
fine with me.
Yeah.
What time, you think? 4:30, you say?
Well, it's a pleasure of the board.
Monday the 11th, just the next Monday.
That's talking about our meeting that day, right?
No,
No, sir.
This one.
Sometimes we go to the second Monday, so I didn't know.
Oh. Any final use?
It's fine.
That should work.
So we need that in a motion?
What
What
time,
time?
Mr. Chairman?
4:30 is fine.
Yeah, 4:30. Motion.
It's
August 11th, 4:30 PM, special call work session. He made a motion for that, I second it, all in favor?
Okay, I'll get that email out to the departments.
All right. Item 7, consideration of issuing a request for proposals, RFP for construction manager services in connection with the upcoming courthouse project.
Commissioners, at the July 7, 2025 meeting, Chris Brazel of EMC Engineering Service Incorporated recommended utilizing a construction manager to oversee the courthouse renovation project, citing their specialized expertise in managing renovation work of this nature. Staff is requesting approve to advertise the attached RFP for a construction manager to bring back a recommendation to the board for approval at the September 8th meeting. And that RFP has been reviewed by legal with one change made on page 5, and it has been adopted in here from EMC.
What'd you say the last part?
there was a change.
There was one
made
change on page 5. It was, Nathan made it. Modifications by the owner.
And EMC accepted the change.
And it would have, this would consist of a committee, a minimum of the architect, the engineer, and a representative of the Board of Commissioners. And we would score a construction manager on a scoring process. I talked with Chris and I talked with Nathan. Nathan thinks this is a great idea to go this route. That way we don't have someone that's unexperienced managing and overseeing the courthouse roofing and aspects of every repair.
It's just extra cost now, right? Okay.
Pretty much.
What's the pleasure of the board on this item?
And this is just for the roofing, exteriors, and third floor. This isn't for the full scope.
It's not looking like the board's in favor of this.
I thought that's why we went with the company in the first place. I didn't know we would have to hire an additional manager after we hired an additional company.
I thought they would manage it themselves.
Yeah.
Their own construction.
Yeah.
Now, when he came last meeting, he did recommend it in his presentation because of the historical value of the, or historical aspect of the courthouse. That's what he said in the last
But we
meeting.
are paying them a lot
Yes.
of money
But I
to
thought-
come in.
If I'm understood, I thought we paid them so much up front to oversee it, and then some of that would go back to us because if they do the work or oversee the project and so forth.
That was outlined in the beginning, that some of the legwork of getting the proposals, we would be credited for the oversight of the project by allowing them to oversee the project.
Correct, it was 10% fee, but it was
to
now reduced down to 8% because they did the assessment.
But now he doesn't want to oversee it, but still us pay him 8%.
Does
That's
he
what
have
it sounds like.
Does he have a guesstimate of what it made?
I think in the original scope of work is about 1.2 million.
No, I mean for this manager.
For this manager, I have no idea on the manager side.
Because my question is, if we're allowing this company to do this, but we need a manager due to the historical significance, is this really the correct company that we need to do it? They shouldn't have taken on a project if they need a manager to do it because of the historical.
Yeah, when he was here last time, Commissioner Thurgood, he mentioned, I think they used the same process at Harris County when they did the courthouse there.
I mean, I understand that. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying, should they really be accepting these projects and bidding on them and taking them on if they really need somebody else to manage them and tell them what to do because of a historical part here?
Is this holding up starting to work right now?
When he came and spoke at the last meeting, he was about 90 or 60 days to have 90% of the drawings and everything together, ready for the RFPs to go out. We can go with bidders for each project. This was just having a construction manager who would subcontract it out then. So I don't know if we would go with, CM for construction services and let them bid on it, what they think it would cost, and they would subcontract it out. And that would be if it's the 1.2 million, and that's what we would pay the contract manager to oversee the project, and he would use his subcontractors.
So right now, what they're asking us to do is allow them to get quotes to see what
Correct.
it costs to have a construction.
Correct.
manager.
We're not committing anything, it's just to put out for proposal and have it come back and bring it back to the board.
I would be in favor of allowing that RFP process to flow through so it doesn't hold up our timeline and we still hold the decision of we accept it or not.
Yeah, because we can reject all the bids when we bring it back to the board for consideration.
I just can't get out of my head that if I hired somebody to come do something, that they were gonna have to hire a manager to come in behind them to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's not disturbed in a certain way. That's what I can't get past, I think.
So
You
I'll
put that in
make
a motion.
Yes, I'll make a motion to allow, giving staff approval to advertise request for proposal for construction manager.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right, we'll get it out.
Okay. Number 8, confirmation of acceptance of a donated 1985 Ford F-800 fire truck and authorization to add the vehicle to the county's insurance coverage.
Commissioners, a 1985 Ford F-800 fire truck has been donated to Meriwether County by Firefox EVS LLC. To accept this donation, we need approval by the Board of Commissioners, along with authorization for the county clerk, Ms. Stevens, to add the vehicle to the county's insurance coverage after the title is received.
Does it run?
It does.
It does.
Does it shoot water?
It is I talked to Chief Stevens, who's out of town at the moment, and this will be a backup fire truck that we could definitely use.
Then I put it in form of a motion, yes.
Second.
Are we doing full coverage or liability only?
That's full coverage.
You put full coverage on the 85 model.
The way our insurance is broken down, fire trucks have to be.
So we have a motion and a second by Commissioner Collins. All in favor?
Yep.
I can't add it till I receive the title, so.
Item 9, consideration of granting an easement to Mount Sinai Baptist Church for the purpose of a septic system.
Commissioners, Mount Sinai Baptist Church, located at 5710 Mount Carmel Road in Gay, Georgia, is requesting an easement to bore beneath the county right-of-way on Mount Carmel Road to install a septic system on the property located across the street from the church. Public Works Director Brian Griffin has inspected the site and confirmed that the boring was completed at a depth that would not interfere with any current or future work in the area. Staff recommends granting the requested easement to allow boring on the county right-of-way at Mount Carmel Road.
So
If I can add to this,
I was gonna say, he
Yeah.
just read that they're wanting permission to, and he's already verified that it was done properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let
bring it
Commissioner.
up to speak. I came by there and I noticed the work going across the road and I wasn't sure what was being done there because it's all above ground and I said, man, that's weird looking. I've never seen that before. So I called to check it out, and that's what they call an above ground septic system, to where everything is pumped there and then it goes into sprinklers. You put bushes on that mound and then it spreads the water out. So I said, okay, that's all great. I didn't know they could make an above ground system, but how's it getting over there? And a company they hired came down, bored through our right of way, under our road, and through the other right of way. And the church didn't know nothing about it. They thought the contractor, and the main contractor said he thought the guy boring it was, got the permits or got authorization. So what I did, I had Cassandra, code enforcement, go out there and put a stop on all of it until we got it clarified, and reached out to Nathan. And Nathan is the one that said, what we need is some kind of easement, a legal documentation, and do this the right way, so people in the county don't think they can just all start boring up underneath our road and without permission, because it is our right of way, it is our road, and the other side's our right of way. The pastor of the church reached out, and I told them we're working with them. They were worried about it, but the church had nothing to do with it. They hired this contractor, and I guess they should have hired a manager to oversee it. But, but anyhow, that's why we're where we're at now. The boring's been done. I called Brian. He went out there. They did go plenty deep, so it's not going to affect the road and so forth. But it needs to be documented in an easement, so in the future, what if I had nobody to call and they're out there working, digging ditches or doing some work, and we cut into a septic line that's pumping all over the place? So it's just to keep it legal and make sure we're doing it the right way is what brought this to head.
So what, leave devil's advocate for a minute. What would happen if we said, no, we want to deny this?
It's one of those already done, ask for permission. Forgiveness is better than permission.
It's if we say no right now, what happens?
Well, I'm a firm believer in the Lord, and since it's a church,
No, I'm playing. I said I'm playing devil's advocate because I want to make sure we don't have other citizens come out and start doing this process the same way.
Correct.
They would likely be in infraction of a legal trespass, and you would have rights under the law to recover for the damages caused by that trespass, and likely injunctive relief as well that could allow the removal of that trespass.
Okay. Because I agree with you. I'm not going to get in the way of what God's wanting to do.
And they've been working on it for a year and a half, and the soil over there on that side of the road is bad. And they try to go across the dirt road next to them that's no longer a county road and get permission from that landowner. That soil is no good. So now the church has grown, and they built one that had fellowship hall, and they ran out of space, so they own the 5 acres. It's not like they rushed out and bought it. They bought the 5 acres 2 or 3 years ago for future parking and so forth. And they just, I guess the contract just, since they owned it and they own this, they can pump over there, but still it's just that.
That's the understanding I got when I spoke to the contractor, that he was told by the company that did it that they didn't need permission to go under the county right away. That's not the case. They do need permission from the board, and we just need to set that precedent that you can't do this without board approval.
And that's what I want to do, and I want to make sure it's on record that we do have authority to deny it for future citizens that try to take this same route.
Is there something we can do to find the company that did it? Because the company knew what they were doing. I mean,
That's very good.
the contractors and the companies, is there some form of something that we can do to hold them accountable so that they don't think in their mind they can do
Your
what they
legal
want?
remedies are going to be likely limited to the property owner themselves. If the property owner had received any kind of damage based on whatever actions you took, they may have recourse against the people who they themselves contracted with.
So the county can't hold the contractors accountable for?
If you want us to look into it, my guess is no. I can look further into it, but I believe you're going to be limited to the property owner. They're basically an agent of the property owner. Whether or not the property owner was aware that they were doing it, illegally or not, they're an agent of the property owner. So
They did get a permit from the health department for the septic system.
It's just an independent boring company like out of Atlanta, and they called and they, they just, that's what happens when you assume. They assume that they got permits and permission because they said, yeah, we'll be there Monday morning, such and such time, we'll board. They did it and was gone. So-
Okay, one more question. So when they got it from the health department, do we know that they told the health department they were gonna be going under the road? Or if they had a permit to do it, do we know how that was worded for that to be allowed and assumed that it was okay?
I did not talk to the health department. Brian, have you seen that?
I can answer that for you. The property's on this side of the road. When we apply for a permit for septic tanks, you have to have a soil engineer and so forth. This had to have special engineers involved. They may not have told them they're pumping it. They just went and got a permit for that 5 acres. Health department's job is to go, sure. Now, if somebody would have said,
the soil's good.
we're gonna pump it across the road, then obviously a state person would say, you might wanna get with the county and get permission. So it doesn't fall back on the health department. Their job is to issue yes or no.
No, I was just meaning whoever went to the health department was being deceptive. And
The guy that's doing the work, the Stephen Ward Company, they did that, but the local health department has nothing to do with that kind of system. It's a state design. You have an engineer come in, they design all of it. That has to be submitted, that has to be approved, and that guy is liable for I don't know how long if it doesn't work. Because they're paying big money for that, big money.
Yeah, and right, their site on their church site did not perk. They could not do another septic system.
I guess
That's what's
kind of
stopping.
just, I'm rattling on, but if I came in and got a permit to build something on my piece of property on this side of the road over here, I went ahead and started building over here. I didn't tell her. She just said, yeah, you can put a shop out there too, because I own the land, but I put it on that side of the road instead of this side of the road. I'd have to go get another permit for it, so.
Well, I'm just saying we keep running into trouble, people getting permits for septic tanks from the health department in one spot, and then they're putting them on a different spot that's considered, I mean, it's legal because they put it on the same property or
No.
whatever, but.
No, that's not.
I have not had that problem.
Well, I mean, like with the RV, he said he was gonna do it one thing, but then the whole thing was kind of deceptive in how it was portrayed and done.
Yeah, that was done for a
seems to be more
barn.
Common.
Yeah, that was done for a barn.
It may
Right.
be, but when you get a health permit for a septic tank from the health department, you have to have a level 3 soil report, and it has to show on the plat where they did the studies and show where it's got to go. So when they come out to inspect it right before we cover it all up, they have to look at it and go,
Well, that's
you're
what
in
I'm
the wrong
saying, but now we
place.
pumped it across the street.
So we're gonna get a motion on this?
Well, yeah, but the only reason I brought it up and started this was I think there's 2 problems. One is, what are we gonna do to help out Sinai Baptist Church or not? And then how do we keep our county from being in the dark in the future on these type issues?
Right.
If the county health department knew, but the rest of us didn't, is there something we can do to keep this from happening? in
I
the
can
future?
speak to John at the health department.
Well, I think we're doing it the right way, and we have the right to deny somebody if we had to or wanted to. This is my district over there, and, church, they're great people. I've spoken with them. I'll make a motion that we grant them an easement.
Allow the chair to sign.
What's that?
Allow the chair to sign.
Should,
Because an easement document's been recorded in the real property.
is this,
records.
how much of a cost is that to us?
Easement would be very easy to.
No, I'm just saying, should we have them pay for that, or because taxpayers shouldn't pay for their easement? Don't y'all handle that part and so forth?
If you wanted us to draw the easement up, yes, that would be a cost associated with it. Probably less than an hour's worth of work.
Right.
Plus your recording fees are waived being a government body, so you wouldn't have any recording costs.
Well, if we want to put whatever that hour, that cost is on it, the church would have the guy that bought it probably
You
pay.
just have them present the easement, and then we'd just have to review it for, make sure it looks correct, and we wouldn't have quite as much invested in it.
Okay.
Yeah, do that.
I'll make, however the staff wants to do it, but I'll make a motion to grant an easement to Mount Sinai Baptist Church for the purpose of that septic system to work for us.
I second.
All in favor? All right, item number 10. Consider agreement of AMR, emergency vehicle use.
Commissioners, Troop County Emergency Medical Services, is AMR, has offered the county an emergency vehicle use agreement to provide the use of an ambulance while the new unit is being constructed and the existing body is mounted on it. The county attorney has reviewed the agreement and all recommended revisions have been approved by AMR. Staff recommends approval of the agreement, authorize the chair and vice chair to sign the agreement. And this was a conversation between the ACCG and I think Commissioner Collins. I've reached out and spoke to him. It's $1 for the ambulance for us to use until the new one is up, ready and running.
It's just $1 cost.
Correct.
Okay.
And we'll have to bring it onto our insurance, and then when we're done using it, we would sell it back to them for $1.
Any discussion among the board?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Report from county administrator.
Commissioners, we have started budget meetings. We have 2 departments left before the work session. Update on the LMA projects. I spoke with Chris today. He will have dates by the end of the week, so we can put everything out for bid. I'll be reaching out to GDOT about several concerns. I know one is MLAC, the fire station, the rain, the way that one's cut, and the DOT signage. I've conducted finance director interviews, attended Lake Advisory Board meeting, met with Chris today, and he has picked up plans to look at the County Line Road bridge replacement. They're gonna go with a bottomless culvert. And then I had a meeting with Dean that was very productive. We're meeting with him again on July 31st, and we'll have an update with that one at the next board meeting. We'll have Dean come and do a presentation on the next meeting. And that's all I have.
Now, report from county commissioners, Commissioner Snelson.
I had a great educational time last Friday. We had a legislative forum with ACCG with some of our representatives and learned about some of the stuff that's coming up with the new next generation 911 that's going to be a statewide 911, and about the school cameras. We talked a lot about that, some of the hot topics. I wanted to say I went to both the roads that the Public Works has done now with the tire project from the grant we were issued, and the citizens that I've talked to love the road, and it looks like it's going to be very beneficial for the county, and I'm thankful that we went with it, and thankful for our Public Works for the work they're doing with it.
Commissioner King.
Just thanks to everybody, the staff and the Public Works and everybody what they're doing their job, and council for helping us to keep everything straight, but that's about it.
Commissioner Threadgill.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Commissioner Collins.
I just like to thank staff and all the employees for the work they've been doing, trying to get the roads back up to par and all that. That's all I am.
I'm the same. I don't have much. Just thanks to everyone for what they are doing. Future meetings and notices. Monday, August 4th, 2025, regular meeting at 6 p.m. We now have a Monday, August 11th, 2025, special call meeting at 4:30 p.m. Tuesday, August 26th, 2025, regular meeting at 6 p.m. We'll be closed on Monday, September the 1st, 2025, in observance of Labor Day. And Monday, September the 8th, 2025, a regular meeting at 6 p.m. Do you have any need for executive session?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I will cover all 4.
Missed the county attorney report.
Oh,
Yes, I did.
I have no report.
Thank you. Moving right along. So do I have a motion to go into executive session for litigation, personnel, real estate, and tax matters?
Second.
All in favor? Executive session is 7:18.
Second.
All in favor? Back in regular session at 8 o'clock. No action is taken in executive session. Any other business before the board?
no, sir.
Have a motion to adjourn?
Yep, second.
All in favor?
I did.
I did.
Okay.